Welcome everybody to the international presentation of the 8th edition of the Approaching the Future, Trends in Reputation and Intangible Management. It is my pleasure to share this presentation with Clara Fontan. She's the director of the study and also she's in charge of Intelligence and Knowledge at Corporate Excellence Center for Reputation Leadership. And we have the pleasure to have in here Justin Green, the CEO and President of the Global Alliance for PR and Communication Management.
I'm really happy of being here. Thank you so much, Angel and Justin, for joining us today. This year, this 8th edition, presents 10 major trends that are shaping business agenda, offering a cross-cutting and interconnected view of all the analysis trends. As you know, Approaching the Future is more than a report. It's a strategic tool to discover these key issues that are impacting on business agenda, as I was saying, and give you the opportunity to discover the aspect that companies are focused on the most, and also the challenges that they are having to integrate intangible assets in their daily activities. So this year, we received more than 1,200 people participating thanks to the help of Global Alliance that is giving us the opportunity to make it in a global scale. And we have discovered that major trends are focused on the reason of being and also the values of companies. And we are discovering that the role of social agents are increasing in importance. So I'm really happy of sharing with you these key findings and because we will have the opportunity to discover how intangible assets are more important than ever.
Thank you, Clara. And we all at Global Alliance across 126 countries worldwide are as enthusiastic as Clara is about the report. It's such an amazing study and we're delighted to be here for the launch again in Madrid for Approaching the Future 2023. Now
we will discover the key findings. This is one of the most important reports that we do each year from Corporate Excellence. This is a non-profit think tank focused on intangible asset management created by major Spanish companies and also companies from all over the world. So we are really happy to give you this roadmap because Approaching the Future is a roadmap to discover how we are navigating in the reputation and intangible asset economy. So the idea right now is trying to go deeper. Angel and myself will have the opportunity to highlight the most important aspect of this year's edition.
So now let's have a look to the results of this 2023 edition.
If it is not measurable, well then it doesn't exist. Economists need numbers, organizations involved in the research across 53 countries that corporate communications was the number one thing that they were focused on. And this is great news and a great endorsement for communicators around the world. Also, the corporate brand has risen into the findings. And as well as that, responsible leadership, corporate reputation still play a key role in the top 10. The report is now available and you can find out more details when you download it in full. Go to the site and download it right now.
Our role as PR professionals is strategic and matters more than ever. And this is why
we want to invite all of you to use Approaching the Future report
as a tool to navigate in a complex world
and demonstrate the strategic value of our function.
It's going to make a significant difference to you as a strategic communications and public relations professional.
It is an invaluable tool for you.
download it today.
Approaching the Future report. Please download this new edition.
Approaching the Future, Trends in Reputation and Intangible Asset Management is an annual report created by Corporate Excellence Center for Reputation Leadership in collaboration with Canvas Sustainable Strategies and the worldwide partner, the Global Alliance. The report is an essential tool for gaining practical knowledge on the global trends in reputation and intangible asset management that have the greatest impact on the business agenda. The study seeks to understand and analyze the lines of action that organizations are working on and the biggest challenges that professionals face when managing intangible assets in their companies.
Why are we doing this? Because we firmly believe that those companies that are able to understand the potential of intangibles as strategic asset will succeed in creating, protecting, and maintaining business value. They will be able to generate sustainable differentiation, stakeholder trust, and relational capital, and secure their social license to operate. Our purpose with this intelligence, foresight, and strategic management tool is simply to help organizations and their professionals to navigate successfully and excellently in the new social and economic contexts in which we are immersed. Approaching the Future is an essential framework for fully immersing oneself in the trends that frame and will continue to frame the business agenda in the coming months.
A deep research exercise which used a methodology divided into 3 parts. The first is an analysis of secondary sources in which we have identified the trends through more than 400 sources, such as social prospect investigations. Then comes the second part, which is a qualitative research in which we have interviewed a panel of 10 experts to understand the projection of the future of the data that we will see in the third part of the research, which is the quantitative part. Here we analyze the trends that had previously been identified through an online survey that has been answered by professionals. This year, we reached over 1,200 responses, and this is double of what we obtained last year. This is thanks to the support of our collaborators and partners. These 1,200 professionals come from 53 countries, and the main representation comes from Spain and Latin America.
The 8th edition of Approaching the Future presents 10 trends that are impacting both the business agenda and the strategy used by organizations, offering a cross-cutting and interconnected view of all analyzed themes. We have observed how all trends have increased in relevance this year, and the data reveals that most relevant trends are related to the raison d'être of organizations and corporate values. This result reflects an increased awareness of the role of companies as social, responsible, and transformative agents in the environments in which they operate. The 10 trends are divided into 3 levels of relevance. The first of these encompasses the trends that are most valued by professionals. Most notably, these include areas related to transformation of organizations towards more sustainable and responsible business models. The integration of sustainability and ESG criteria, environmental, social, and governance, has increased the most compared to 2022 and is positioned as the most relevant trend for professionals. This is followed by the need to develop responsible leadership based on value creation. In third and fourth place, we have reputation management and communication, key areas for boosting the positioning of organizations as social agents that generate trust. The second relevance level includes key aspects for adapting to an uncertain context. At the top of the list, we find digitalization and cybersecurity, which stand out as a fundamental issue in terms of risk prevention and mitigation. This trend is followed by corporate purpose, which has fallen 5 places compared to the results of 2022. Although it maintains its role as a fundamental lever for generating lasting differentiation over time. Next on the list, we find the future of work, which is consolidated with hybrid and flexible working models and the role of corporate brands in a context marked by constant change. This trend stands out as organizations are now dedicating the most effort towards it compared to the result obtained in the last year's report. The third relevance level includes corporate governance, which has fallen 5 places in the ranking compared to 2022, and managing the climate emergency, an area which, for the second year in a row, is towards the bottom of the list in terms of relevance.
Corporate communication is the trend being worked on the most by organizations, with 52.8% of professionals seeing this area of work as a priority. This is followed by digitalization and cybersecurity, 50.8%, which is the second place for the second year running. Sustainability is up as much as 20 points compared to 2022. In this regard, the number of companies working to promote sustainability is increasing. Following on from this, the development of responsible leadership, 46.5%, and corporate reputation, 46.4%, are also being worked on more by organizations, whilst corporate purpose has fallen by almost 2 points compared to the previous edition, 46.3%. The same is true for corporate governance and climate emergency, both which are down in terms of efforts dedicated to their management. However, and taking into account the evolution from 2022 to 2023, it is worth highlighting the significant effort made by organizations to manage their corporate brand, with this trend increasing the most in terms of efforts and resources compared to the previous edition, with an increase of 27.2%. New ways of working has also increased by 15.8% compared to the previous edition. Although these trends have undergone significant changes in terms of intensity and workload, overall, the results reflect an interesting conclusion. Organizations and their professionals are currently working on a large number of diverse topics in the field of intangibles. In fact, we found that 4 to 5 out of 10 professionals are prioritizing as many as 8 of the 10 identified trends. All professionals who participated in the study assigned the same levels of relevance to the global key issues. However, we have identified interesting nuances that have allowed us to understand more precisely the vision and perspective of senior management. In terms of the most relevant issues that are shaping business strategy. The top 5 relevant trends for senior management include responsible leadership, sustainability management, reputation, and corporate communication. These trends have been identified as key issues by 50% of consulted executives. In fifth place, 50% of executives claim that corporate purpose is a key issue. It is essential to note that responsible leadership is the area where there is the greatest difference, 10 points, between the relevance assigned by senior management and given by other professionals. This result reflects the concern and commitment of senior management to promote and guarantee more responsible corporate cultures that are capable of generating long-term value. In terms of the top 5 trends being worked on by senior management, the following stands out. Corporate communication, 56%, which is in line with several overall results shared by other professionals, although executives scored this area as being 6.8% more relevant than other roles. Responsible leadership, 49.1%, also 7.9 points more relevant than for other professional roles. And other issues such as sustainability, digitalization, and corporate reputation. Sustainability is being integrated into business models, ranking as the #1 trend in terms of relevance according to more than half of consulted companies, 55.7%. Moreover, almost half of the consulted companies are already giving a triple bottom line vision in business models, 49.6%. The areas being worked on the most in terms of trends and the integration of sustainability into the business strategy, 60.7%, the definition of targets linked to the SDGs, 41%, and improvement in the reporting and adaptation of the new ESG rules and regulations, 37.5%. The biggest challenges being faced by organizations in terms of integrating sustainability into business strategy relate to managing impacts in the supply chain, 40.6%, and training employees and executives in sustainability, 39.6%.
Responsible leadership for social cohesion is the second most relevant trend in the organizations, 55.3%. It is the most prioritized trend for senior managers according to 6 out of 10 executives. The data shows that the greater the professional responsibility, the greater the importance given to this area. 50% of organizations are already taking steps to implement values such as empathy and integrity in their leadership models, a priority for 74.4% of managers. Leadership training for management teams is one of the areas being worked on the most, and the biggest challenges include balancing long-term versus short-term value creation, 45.5%, and dialogue with and active listening to stakeholders.
Corporate reputation continues to gain importance, and it is positioned as a strategic priority for organizations. In 2023, companies value more than ever the relevance and importance of corporate reputation, which rises 2 places in the trend ranking compared to 2022. More than half of professionals, 52.5%, rank reputation as the 3rd most important trend. 46.4% of companies are already working on reputation management. Most notably, this includes the design of plans and strategies for the correct development of reputation, 63.8%. With almost 15 points difference compared to the next area, this is the issue to which consulted companies are currently devoting the most time and resources. The biggest challenges for companies in this area include the application of measurement models, 45.2%, and the implementation of proactive reputation management models, 37.9%.
Corporate communication is the trend being worked on the most by organizations. 52.8% of professionals claim to be prioritizing this trend, and it is the 3rd most relevant trend for senior management. In fact, approximately 56% of senior managers claim to be investing resources in this area. The main areas of actions in terms of corporate communications include the creation of innovative content for advertising and social media, 53.1%, internal communication, 47.2%, and the creation of a narrative centered around corporate purpose and sustainability. The biggest challenge being faced by professionals in this area is effectively involving stakeholders in the content creation process, 40.2%, with the aim of encouraging participation and a sense of belonging to the brand.
Technology is consolidating its position as a transformative lever in organizations. Approximately 50.8% of organizations are developing their technological resources and thriving digitalization. 6 out of 10 professionals understand that technology has a direct impact on working models and employee relations, 61%. Customer relations, product supply, and marketing stand out with 58.5% and 57.7% respectively. Security and data protection are considered key challenges by senior management, 46.3%, and as a result, 46% of organizations are making progress and in strengthening both aspects.
Corporate purpose continues to evolve towards a more cross-cutting approach. Although this trend has fallen 5 places since 2022, it continues to be a strategically relevant issue for 48.8% of organizations, and its relevance is embedded in the practice of responsible leadership. Prioritized areas of work including the integration of purpose in strategic decision-making, 63.3%. The promotion of purpose through customer and investor communication, 41.4%. And the development of purpose through corporate culture and internal communication, 40.6%. It is worth noting that 51.5% of professionals are encountering difficulties with establishing metrics for evaluating the impact of purpose.
The era of hybrid and flexible working is a trend that is being impacted the most by technology. 45.7% of organizations are working on its development. 67.7% are committed to hybrid models that combine face-to-face and online work. Collaboration between areas and departments remains the biggest challenges according to 40.9% of organizations, as a result of complex barriers such as rigid organizational and cultural structures.
The role of corporate brands in contexts marked by uncertainty and constant change has continued to increase in relevance since 2022, rising from 27.6% to 40.7% in 2023. This trend has also increased the most in terms of organizational efforts, 27 points. We have observed particular efforts to incorporate purpose and values in the brand, 60.6%, to develop products and services aligned with brand positioning, 48%, and to create brands that truly engage with the communities in which they operate, 37.7%. Measuring the impact of the brand on the business continues to be the biggest challenge in this respect, according to 55.1% of professionals.
Corporate governance with ESG and sustainability criteria has dropped 4 places in the current edition. However, there's some continuity in the number of organizations working in this area, 33.7%. Organizations have highlighted 3 areas of action: the implementation of codes of conduct and reporting channels, 55.9%, the promotion of initiatives that encourage senior management dialogue with stakeholders, 43.3%, and the development of processes for the inclusion of more diverse senior management profiles, 37%. The biggest challenge is aligning senior management and employee compensation with ESG performance.
We are facing the last call to respond to the climate emergency, as only 22.8% of companies recognize this trend as being a key issue. Only 18.8% claim to be working on climate-related aspects. These figures contrast with the level of relevance assigned to sustainability and ESG criteria in 2023, and they evidence a change in vision among companies towards a triple bottom line vision. Among the companies that are working in this area, the search for carbon neutrality, 51.5%, as well as the promotion of the circular economy, 50.6%, stand out. The biggest challenges faced by organizations in this respect are the promotion of circular economy initiatives, 39.1%, and the implementation of emission reduction plans, 37.5%. These are the trends that have been presented in Approaching the Future 2023. We hope that this new edition will contribute and help organizations to adapt to the turbulent and constantly evolving era, where companies are the true protagonists responsible for building a sustainable future for all.
We need to advance in business transformation through new models of responsible leadership, supported by corporate culture and purpose, in order to lead by reputation in an economy determined by the strategic management of intangible assets.
y gestionar de forma estratégica e integrada los activos intangibles.
It is time, therefore, to navigate the sea of trends that are evolving and impacting the business agenda, where only those organizations that understand and nurture the management of intangibles can be catalysts for the change and generate value in long term. Immerse yourself in Approaching the Future 2023 and manage reputation and intangible trends in an excellent way.
Thank you for joining us in this presentation, and do not forget to use the data, because here at Corporate Excellence Center for Reputation Leadership, we are extremely satisfied to know that we are contributing to the knowledge and also the excellence in the management of the key intangibles.
We hope that you find it useful to navigate in the reputation economy and also to use this insight to strengthen your role inside of your companies, to demonstrate that intangible asset management has a great impact on business value.
And for more details, join us at the World Public Relations Forum in Chennai, in India, this September. See you then.
Approaching the Future 2023, Trends on Reputation and Intangible Asset Management. Download this report right now.